What's going on, ladies and gents, and welcome to our very first video of our brand new series of Docker. That was quite an intro, I guess. But yeah, I'm really excited about Docker. I've been wanting to learn more about it. So yeah, it's gonna be something for me as well this time around. But on this video, I'm just going to go briefly over the main components, and then we are, don't worry about it. We are going to be setting up a base application and also deploying our first Docker application. How does that sound? Pretty good, right? I thought so. I'm talking to myself right now. So, all right, let's go over briefly the major components. I was working on my intro. Get rid of all this stuff. All right, here's the intro. So here are the main components of Docker. So a container, here we go. This is a container. A container is basically where your application or specific resource is located, okay? For example, you could have a Mongo database in one container, then a front-end React application in another container, and then our Node Express server in a third container. Then you have images. Oops, my bad. All right, I had to fix that for a second. Now we're talking about images. Now, next is images. So images are what the containers are built from, okay? The images contains all of the information that a container needs to build a container. And this container will be exactly the same in any other system, okay? It's like a recipe. You could think of an image like a recipe, okay? Now, next component, I'm going pretty quick. Yes, I know. Next component is volumes. Now, volume holds the data of your containers. So if your applications are on containers, which are static and unchanging, the data that changes is on the volumes. Sorry, it's on the volumes. And then finally, we have networking, okay? And this is a piece that actually allows all the items to speak. Yeah, it kind of does sound simple, but understand that each container in Docker have no idea of the existence of each other container that exists. So they're fully isolated. They don't know each other at all. So unless we set up a networking in Docker, they won't have any idea how to connect to one another. So yeah, this was a very basic overview of how Docker works. And now we're going to get into the fun part, which is setting up our base. We're not really setting up. I already have a file in here. It's called simple backend. Basically, it's a simple backend. We have a database. It's not connected. You know, if we're gonna check it, we're gonna connect to a database, and then once we hit the home page, we're gonna get I love Docker. And it's not that much. The data.js is literally me exporting my DB. And check this out. The reason why I did Mongo, I had to actually go inside MLab and create a database in there. So that way I could reference it right here. Because remember, if you are using it locally, then you would have to put local host at whatever the, I forget the, I think 33571. 330, I forget the default port number for MongoDB. But yeah, localhost at whatever port, you know what I'm talking about, right? But since we're deploying this into a container, we're going to have to install Mongo in that container and, point to that. I don't want to install Mongo. That's not the point of this. So I just did MLab and just referenced it right there. That's it. So this is just a simple backend. We're going to get into a heavier backend, which is this right here. But that's later on. The simple backend for right now, for right now anyways. So the first thing we're going to be doing is actually creating two files inside of a simple backend, not inside that folder, okay? Not the other ones. Inside that folder, and the first file is going to be called Docker file. And the next file is going to be called, where is it at? Right here. .docker ignore. And I put a comma, it's dot. Docker ignore. And the files that we're going to be ignoring, you should already know what Docker ignore does. The files that we're going to be ignoring is node_modules. And also we're going to be ignoring npm dash debug dot log, because no one cares about that. Now I'm playing. It's because this log is specific to my setup, how I have it. So it might not be, you might not have the same errors as we do or debugging, status. Save that. Now what we're going to be going is Docker file. Now Docker file is like the blueprint, like we talked about. It's the blueprint of our container. And like I said as well, the image is like is the instructions of our container, right? Or how our container is going to be used, not used, but what it's going to be using, right? It's a recipe. So let's get right into it. So we're gonna start this application from node. Then we're going to be creating a work directory where our files are going to be placed. Work directory /user /src source and then /app. Now don't worry about any of this. Don't worry. We are going to get into like what's going on here, but just know that we're going to be using node or from node, and we're going to be working in the work directory user source app. Don't worry about what's happening. Just follow along, and then we'll figure out what's happening later on. Now what we're going to be doing is copying. So, copy package, and I'm gonna just put a star in because people are crazy and they might have more than one package. So JSON package.json from the current directory, and then what we're going to be doing is running that package or npm install. So npm install. Like I said, this is an instruction, so we're telling the Docker, hey, we're gonna be using a node image, or we're gonna be using node. We're going to be storing all of our stuff or all of our files in the user source application. We're going to be copying package and then .json, which we have it right here. And then after that, we're going to run npm install. And then after that, we're going to copy again, but this time we're going to copy everything inside this folder into the current folder over here. Now what we want to do is expose port 4000, because we are using that right here. Where is it at? Right there, 4000. And then we're going to do a command, and that command is going to be npm start. Now what we're going to be doing, I'm going to control save this, is actually creating our image from this Docker file. Now we need to get into our terminal, and I hope you do have clear. I do hope you have Docker installed, because honestly it was such a pain for me to install Docker since I have Windows 10 Home Edition. It was a pain in the ass. I honestly just stopped doing home. I actually bought the pro version of it. It was just I think it was $100. I'm not too sure. Anyways, yeah. It was a pain. So anyways, now let's create our image, right? So the thing you need to do, or the command that you need to run, is docker build -t to name our image. And the first thing we need to do when we're naming our image is put in our username, the username that you created in your Docker hub. So mine was wdj web dev journey. And then /, and I'm gonna add a tag at the end of this, or you have to. I don't know. I'm gonna just add a tag, and my tag is gonna be simple -backend, since this is a simple backend. And then space dot, because this is going to run the command, yeah. And then go ahead and press enter, and there we go. Since we're actually using Node and we don't have that image yet, it's downloading it from the Docker repository. Now don't worry about it. Since this is doing it right now, let's actually go to a Docker right here. Let's say Docker node image. I'm actually going to sit right here, node. All right, so this is the Docker hub or Docker repository for all the images Docker has, or people have been building on Docker. So Node right here, this is actually the official image for Node, and this is the one we're downloading right now, or the one we downloaded. And oops. And these other ones are just other images that people, or here's another one of Mongo Express. There's another official one, but here's another one that's that people actually created. So this guy, Noderd, his name's Noderd. I don't know. He made a Docker red or Node red Docker. Here's a Node red. Like, these are all images from other people, but since we said Node, from Node, it got the actual official image. Anyways, let's go back in here. It's done. And you can actually see right here what's going. It's saying, hey, you can actually see the instructions that's being, it's saying right here, hey, copy everything from everything, expose, all the commands that we actually wrote, right? So you can see that we're building the instructions that we wrote right here. This is what's building the actual image. Now, to get a list of all the images that you have currently, you could do Docker images. And these are all the images that you have right now. First of all, I do have two of them. Node right now, because like I said, we did install the Node image since we're going to be using the Node right here. And we have our image, which is this one, Web Dev Journey, or this one, the one we just created, which is another image. Now, let's say you want to remove an image. What you can do is Docker RMI and put in the first 3 or 4 characters from this image ID. So let's say I wanted to remove, I don't know, my image, the one we just created. I would put in A35C. I'm not going to remove it. You press enter and it'll remove it. But I'm not going to remove it. So I'm just showing you some simple commands right now. These are the most basic commands. So now let's actually run a container using the image that we created, which is this image right here. And the way we do that is saying Docker run -p for port. And this is where you're going to map out the port. So I want 4000 to be the 4000 where right here, the one we're exposing. We're exposing 4000 right here. That means that this application is going to run on a 4000. But I could have put right here whatever I want. So on localhost 8080, is going to map to 4000 for this application. I hope you got that. It's actually pretty simple. I'm just mapping my 4000, localhost 4000, to the application's port, which was 4000. This second one has to be the actual port number you're exposing from your application. And then space, and this is where we're gonna actually tell, okay, what Docker, what image do you want to run? And I want to run my WDJ Web Dev Journey. Yeah, you have to type out the whole thing. I think you do. I'm not too sure. I never played around with like simple Backend. I never played around on like just leaving this out and it see it. I don't know. Press enter and it should be starting. There you go. Your server is running it, as you can see right here in index. Your server down here, your server is running on port 4000 and we're connected to a database. So let's actually check it out. If I go to local 4000, I should say, ooh, local host, damn it, local host, and then 4000. I should see, yeah, I love Docker, and that's exactly what we actually told it to send out on the homepage, right? I love Docker. Sorry, I heard some noise and I had to go back. Anyways, right. Now that we're back, let's see all of the containers that is running currently, okay? So the way we could do it is Docker PS. And here's all of our containers that is running at this moment. We have this Web Dev Journey image that's running on container ID, this ID. Now, let's say you want to stop this Docker container. We could say Docker stop, and then put in the first few characters, so 7CE. and then hit enter. And now we do Docker PS. Oops, Docker PS. We shouldn't see any containers running at the moment. Now, if we do Docker PS dash A, oops, I put an equal sign instead of A. If you do Docker PS dash A, it'll show you all of the Docker containers that you have right now, but maybe it'll show you no matter what, right? It'll show you no matter what. If it's stopped or if it's starting, it doesn't matter. It'll show you all of the containers that you have at this moment. Docker PS will show you all the ones that are running currently, and PS-A will show you all the containers regardless if it's running or stopped. Now let's actually we could actually figure it out if it stopped. Going back into our browser of our refresh dish, you see how it hangs. So there's nothing running right now at this moment. Now to start it back up, I guess you guessed it, start 7 CE. There we go. We started it back up, and since we stopped it, we do need to run that. No, we don't. What am I talking about? If you just refresh the page, yeah, I love Docker. There it is. Now we see it because we started it up again. There's two more commands that I do want to teach you for right now, and that's actually pushing and pulling. So if you want to push, well, I'm not going to teach it to you. I'm just going to tell you. If you want to push this this image to your repository, you could do Docker push. Let's actually do that. Docker push. I don't know why I pressed enter, and I keep on saying it's a registry. Okay, so we're gonna push this to our registry. Okay, so Docker push, and then you have to put in your image name, which I forgot what it was. So I'm gonna do Docker images, so that way I could see what it was, and then I'm gonna do Docker push. Okay, wdj web dev journey / simple backend. Now it's pushing this image to my Docker Hub account. So once it's done, let's actually, let me see. Hold on. Let's actually go to Docker Hub. Docker Hub. Go right here. Let me see if it's actually done or not. And it's done. So there it is right here. I just pushed it right there. Docker Hub. Now, if I wanted to pull that, let's say I wanted to pull it, let's actually remove this image. So Docker, and since, check this out, so Docker RMI, and then actually let me do Docker push now. Docker RMI is going to give us an error, and the reason why it gives us an error is because it's being used, right? We still have that Docker container that's running this image. So I'm gonna just do -F so I could forcibly remove it, and it just removed it, right? So let me actually clear my terminal. If I do Docker images, I don't have that image, as you can see right there. I don't have that image anymore, my simple backend. So what I'm gonna do is actually pull that image, and the way you do that is Docker pull. And then the image that you want, which was the web dev journey, or this one simple backend. So if you pull it, it'll download it, and Docker images, and here it is again, our image. Now obviously you could pull any image that you want that's inside of the Docker repository right here. So if you wanted like there you go. If you want to do that, you have to type in MySQL. So you would do Docker pull MySQL, and you have that image MariaDB right there as well. You know, so you can pull a lot of images. Just search right here the image that you would like. They have a mean stack as well, I'm pretty sure. Or people create mean stacks right there. Let me see. Node. Oh, we already explored Node, right? Yeah, obviously. Mongo Express. So there's a lot of them. So just play around with it. Now, obviously, there's a ton of more commands that you could look at, and I'm gonna have a list, not a list, but a link to a website that will give you like most of it. So down in the description. So look that up and see what you could do. But that's basically it for this video, guys. We just went over how to create an image, and then run that image on a Docker container. I mean, that's pretty much the gist of it, right? Anyways, I hope you enjoyed this intro or this first video of our Docker series. Stay tuned. There's going to be a lot more, and you're welcome. I don't know. I've been seeing Moana a lot. I don't know. But thank you guys. I'll see you in the next video. Bye.